She felt betrayed and I never intended hurt. Please help. Before reading this, I must say this. It is long, but for the purpose of context. Also, time does help. After the breakup, I was suicidal due to all the remorse and blame I felt. Now I think about her, and it doesn't stop my day in any way. I miss her at times when I feel I miss intimacy, but otherwise I am focusing on bettering my life and being healthier mentally. So let's begin with the good. I am 27 M, she is 28 F. My ex and I were together for 6 years. I became very close with her family and siblings, constantly going over to their houses for family events, dinners, and doing double dates with her siblings and their partners. Each week we made sure to go on a date for sure, and spent many other days throughout our entire relationship. My ex and I were best friends. She doesn't have any friends. We took trips each year together. We got 2 animals together. We lived together for 4 years together. I would always do romantic gestures like leaving things on her car after work, or flowers randomly, or bath and spa nights. I put her on a pedestal and did my best to make her feel truly loved. We never fought and honestly barely had any arguments about things. That's how well we fit together. Similarly, we had many of the same interests and even tried each other's interest. I was there for her through tough times when both of her grandparents tragically passed away. I was an usher to walk the caskets down, which can tell you how close I was to her family. Each year I went with her family on family trips. Further, we had similar values. We both didn't smoke, didn't do drugs, highly valued our religion that we share, and had many similar worldviews and values for relationships. We valued each other enough to stay in communication every day, no matter what, by texting or talking. When we lived together, it was never an issue with cleanliness, cooking, etc. We both did our part and never expected the other to have to do such. We had similar future goals and dreams: travel, marriage, family, living on a lake, etc. I can continue, but let's just say that we both felt very happy and in love together. We both expressed this daily. I never lied to her. I never cheated on her. I never did many things that would hurt someone outright. Further, I always tried to support her with her trauma and her own issues. Now for what happened. My ex has a trauma history from her past 2 relationships: abuse and lying. Neither relationship lasted more than 6 months. This happened when she moved away for college before she met me. She mentioned it to me and told me how she can find it difficult to trust at times because of this. I always remembered this and made sure to never do anything sexual when we drank, because I didn't want her to feel any negative way regarding that. As well, I consistently tried to build that trust and never hurt that trust until this last year. She grew up homeschooled with all of her siblings in a strict household ran by her narcissistic and autistic father. For example, living at home at 28, she still has a curfew, otherwise her dad yells at her. She fears her parents and wanted to make them happy and proud, seeking validation by doing right constantly. An example of this was when she started college. It was for a career they suggested. Being in this environment, she has social anxiety and thus has 0 friends. All the years I was with her, she made 3 friends and cut them out within 2 to 3 hangouts. My ex was diagnosed with CPTSD, depression, anxiety, and that was before we met. Those things all but went away, or here I thought the first 5 years. So no issues for 5 years. 6th year we have 3 things happen. I was planning to get engaged in 2021. As well, after college, end of 2019, we both moved back to our parents' houses as we searched for our first jobs post-college. COVID began, making it hard. First thing, my ex and I go to my cabin. She gets on an ATV with my cousin. I make sure they both have helmets, and I tell my younger cousin she needs to drive very responsibly because my girlfriend was on it. She said that's okay, and I even told my ex if she would rather drive with me she can, yet she was alright going with my cousin. 15 minutes later, they are involved in a head-on collision with a truck going around a very sharp turn at like 15 miles per hour. I was following them in my car, and I was behind them by like a few hundred yards, so I didn't see it happen due to the curve. Anyways, I ran to my ex's side, held and compressed her leg as she was bleeding. Fast forward. I followed to the hospital and went into her room and waited the whole time with her. She was able to leave within 2 hours and had a tear in her muscle behind her knee, as well as a traumatic brain injury, and further a deviated septum. We go back to my cabin, and I pretty much take care of my ex the next 24 hours till we leave for home. I helped her bathe, get dressed, made meals, grabbed ice or heat stuff, and even tried cheering her up by watching comedy she likes. After dinner, my aunt, mother to my cousin, asked me for help. I asked what for, and she explained to me that my cousin didn't finish her test to drive the ATV before we left. I told her that I feel uncomfortable doing that, and so I opted out. An hour later, she asks me again, but now tells me that if I don't, that the state could sue my grandparents. My grandparents live month to month on their retirement and Social Security, thus I felt obligated. Later, I found out they had insurance and that she was manipulating me. However, in this moment, my ex felt like I broke her trust by taking this test that I felt obligated to take. She felt like I intentionally set out to cover it up, that my cousin should not have been driving. I see where she is coming from, but also I felt pressured into it by my aunt, and I explained this to her, but she said it hurts her still and her trust was broken. I apologized by writing her a letter explaining how I never intentionally meant for that.